Cardigan Mountain Schools offers a close-knit community that prepares middle school boys in mind, body, and spirit for responsible and meaningful lives in a global society.
To achieve our mission, we reward effort and accomplishment, helping each boy realize his academic, physical, and personal potential through the integration of the following core values in all aspects of daily life.
Compassion, be kind, seek to understand others and go out of your way to help.
Integrity, be honest, remain true to yourself and your word.
Respect, be compassionate, care for others, yourself, and Cardigan Mountain School.
Courage, be brave, face adversity with strength and persistence.
Thank you, boys, and good evening, everyone. Thank you for telling us about the core values of Cardigan Mountain School. These are our guiding posts. This is what guides us here. They are not just words, they're what we follow and how we find our way through the path that is Cardigan Mountain School, each and every one of us. 21 years ago today, Ms. Borick mentioned at breakfast, 21 years ago today, on this date, 9/11, the United States was attacked by terrorists, and this marked a time in our history that was extraordinary. There was tremendous loss of life, and it was a shock to everyone in this country and all around the world. In some ways, it seems like a lot of things have followed since then, but for us, that was a monumental day. It was a day like any other. I remember it well. It started like a day like any other, and nobody knew what would happen that day. And all I will say is that subsequently we've learned about heroes all over the world and all over the country. Nobody knows who the heroes are until the lion roars. I want to welcome all of you, all of us, to the 2022-2023 school year. Cardigan is a remarkable place. And whether you have been here for 3 years or a couple days, you are going through and will experience a lot of changes because every year has been different for the last 3 years. There has been no normal. So if you're a 9th grader and you came as a 6th grader, you've experienced several different Cardigan Mountain Schools. And I'm really thrilled and proud that we're beginning this academic year more typically than we have in the last few years. And I'm excited for all of you boys, and I know the faculty is excited as well. I always associate the beginning of any school year with a deep sense of renewal. For me, as an educator, it's New Year's. It's the time when I feel really, really excited about what's to come. I think about the adjustments that I want to make in my own work and life, and I invite you and all of us in this room to think about what adjustments you might want to make as you start your new academic year. For some of us, of you, it may be a complete overhaul, a reinvention of yourself. For others, it may be just a tiny little adjustment or a tweak, or nothing at all, and that's well enough. But I want you to think about that. There's always an opportunity to start anew, and there's never a better time than right now. Right now, right here. We're so excited that all of you are here. You've made it. You've come a long way. Whether you came from down the road or across the world, you've come a long way to be here today. And we couldn't be more excited about that. The core values that these boys just talked about are going to guide you. And when you stumble, and you will, think about those core values. Look to your leaders and pick yourself up and do a better job next time. One of the takeaways, and actually the final takeaway, and then I'll sit down, that I want to leave you with as we start our year is that it's a long year. We come out of the gate charging, but it's a long year. Find a pace, an ambitious pace, but find a pace that you can maintain and sustain. Be patient, but push yourself and push others to be better. Welcome and good evening.
Good evening, everybody. It is awesome to see this chapel full again, and especially at the beginning of the year. It feels like a real breath of fresh air, and this is a special place for us on campus. It's an opportunity for us to come together to feel the energy of this community, a really special and unique thing that we all get to be a part of. And if you don't know it now, at some point you will. The moment you're living right now is forever. You will remember this forever, for good or for bad. I think for most of you it'll probably be for good, but this will be an experience that you never forget. Being here on the point in this beautiful, beautiful landscape with your brothers, with your Cardigan family. And if you walk away from this place having an understanding of how to live these core values and nothing else, you're going to be okay. So I'm grateful for all of you to be here, and I have the privilege and honor now of introducing our keynote speaker for this evening, Ms. Gehagen. Ms. Gehagen is a veteran of Cardigan Mountain School. She's served for 13 years. It's a long time, for some of you longer than you've been alive. And Ms. Gehagen is an important and powerful member of this community. She's kind, she's funny, if you haven't gotten to know her well yet. And she models our core values every day. And she loves this school. She loves the mission of this place. She believes in it. She believes in our traditions, and she's willing to fight for them. And I think what impresses me most about Ms. Gehagen is she doesn't just value this school, this Cardigan family. She is an incredible supporter of her own family, which I think is just such an important model for you as boys who are learning to be men and adults in society, to see what it means to be invested in a team, but to still be invested in your family. Because your professional life, whatever it is that becomes your profession one day, as you decide, I'm gonna pursue this sport or this skill or this hobby, whatever it is, if that comes at the expense of your family, there's something that you lose there. And I know Ms. Gehagen is one who I admire, who shows us all how to find that balance, how to keep what is important in life at the forefront and not let it be at the mercy of things which matter least. So please join me in welcoming Ms. Gehagen.
Thank you, Mr. Novak. Good evening, Cardigan community. I just want to start by saying that despite the emotional roller coaster that I've been on this past week preparing for this, I'm genuinely thankful to have the opportunity to speak to the community as we gather here at the beginning of this new school year. When Mr. Novak asked me if I'd be interested in speaking at this opening ceremony, I did what I do best, and I panicked. I stood there frozen, staring directly into Mr. Novak's eyes for I'm sure it was an uncomfortably long amount of time. And I tried to think of an excuse for why I couldn't speak. But this was Mr. Novak, and I knew it had to be good. So I started thinking through some excuses that my students have given me over the past years, and you fell through. Did not think of anything good. Have not heard a good one yet. So I told him I would think about it, and I did. And I knew I was going to, but I didn't say yes right away. But I knew I was going to because one of my goals this year was courage. was to take risks and try new things. I've never given a speech at Cardigan before. And so I knew I would say yes. And I thought about it, I came back, I told Mr. Novak that I would do it, and I went straight to my house and I started working on what I would say here today. I thought about other speeches that I had heard, and all of them started off with some story. And so I thought back to the moments in my life and tried to come up with something super inspirational or a pivotal moment. And nothing really felt quite right. So I slipped deeper into panic mode and I just started Googling. And I'm not really even sure what I was looking for, but I watched TED Talks, I watched other people's speeches, I read inspiring quotes, I read articles, and I even typed at one point, how to give a speech that's not bad. And I couldn't find what I was looking for, so I looked for feedback in my family, and the vibe that I got was that humor is not one of my strengths, and that I should, under no circumstances, tell a joke or try to be funny. So, ouch, but message received. And after a couple of days of learning what not to say, I decided I just needed to start typing. And so I wrote about the Cardigan core values of respect, integrity, courage, and compassion. And then I wrote about the Cardigan way, and help the other fella, and lift while you climb, and knock them down and pick them up. I wrote pages and pages about how special this place is and how lucky we are to be here, what it means to me, and how I've seen so many students grow from boys into young men. And then I deleted them all, because I knew that no matter what I wrote, none of the words would be quite right. And a couple of more days passed and the students arrived on campus, and I watched and I listened, hoping for something special to happen where it would all come together and the words would just flow from my fingertips, and I would get up here and I would say something so profound and something so beautiful that we would all walk back to our dorms with this little tear in our eyes, inspired and ready to change the world. And then Friday came and I still had nothing. And I entered this new plane of existence between panic and despair. And I thought, this is it. I'm going down in the Cardigan history book for this speech, but for all the wrong reasons. And I took a deep breath and I accepted my fate. And that's when it came. Not that aha moment, but a realization that I don't have to know the perfect thing to say. And I don't have to get up here and change your lives in 7 to 10 minutes, because I know that regardless of what I say to you now, there's no way that you're going to leave this place without it either having changed you, or at the very least, without having learned something new about yourself. I know that you will know what it means to live the core values, to help the other fella, to lift while you climb, to get out there on the sports field and knock them down and then help them up. And you'll know that because you will live it every single day. That's the kind of community that this is. We learn from each other, we care for each other, we help each other, we work together, and we celebrate each other's differences and strive to be the best versions of ourselves, but also to help the other fella be his best too. So I won't take this moment to explain to you what it means to be here or who we are as a community. I'll let you discover that for yourselves through your own experiences and through your own relationships. Instead, I'll offer you a few pieces of advice to help you take full advantage of your time here. First, you are your own responsibility. Yes, people can support you by taking care of you, teaching you skills, giving you advice, and offering you help. But there's only one person who's ever in complete control of your decisions, and that's you. And since you're in control of your own decisions, only you can be fully responsible for yourself. That includes your attitude, your level of satisfaction, your choices, and your contributions. You may not always be in control of what life gives you, but you're in control of what you do with it. So strive to make the most of what you have, and you will have setbacks, but don't complain, look for a solution. And if you can't find one, use your resources to keep learning and to try again. Maya Angelou said, do your best until you can do no better. Do your best until you know better. And then when you know better, do better. So take advantage of all of your opportunities that you're given, make good choices, and make a contribution. Be your best self, but be humble. Success can be a wonderful thing, but without humility, it can be disgusting and selfish. As you work toward personal growth, remember to stop and appreciate what you have, how far you've come, and the people that have helped you get on your way. Work hard to achieve your goals, but don't work just to get ahead, because that means leaving someone else behind. Instead, use your successes to help others reach their goals. If you make a sports team that you worked really hard to make, don't brag. Use your skills to help others improve. If you've learned something, don't laugh at the kid who's still struggling to understand. Use your knowledge to help him learn it too. Open yourself to new experiences and to new people. Step outside of your comfort zone. Try things that you're nervous to try. You're still discovering who you are as a person. And it's easy to stick to what you know and do what your friends are doing. It feels safe. But if you do that, you're missing out. You're missing out on getting to know yourself, on personal growth, new perspectives, and new relationships. You'll never know a safer place to take risks and try new things than where we are. So join a play, try an instrument, join the ensemble, try a new sport, join a new club, or speak in chapel. You have absolutely nothing to lose. If it works out, you've learned something new about yourself. If it's not for you, you've also learned something new about yourself. And if your friends laugh at you, well, you've learned something about your friends. It's a win-win. When things get hard, keep going. The things that matter aren't always easy. You're going to make mistakes, and you're going to make poor choices, and you will fall down. But sometimes, when things are challenging, it means that you're learning from it. And the more you learn, the easier it will get. So pick yourself up and keep going. And try your hardest. And if you still fail, that's okay. Just know that you will always find support here in your teachers and in your Cardigan brothers and sisters. There's no shame in asking for help. And finally, listen more than you speak. And I know right now, you're probably thinking, okay, Ms. Gahagan, why don't you take some of your own advice? But this is one of the most important pieces of advice that I have to give, and that's why I saved it for last. All of us are different. We all come from different backgrounds and different cultures. We look different, and we have different strengths and different skills and different opinions. But the thing that we all have in common is that we're human, and no one here deserves to be who they are more than anyone else. As humans, we all want to feel appreciated and heard. The greatest form of respect that you can give another person is listening to what they have to say. Not just the words, but the meaning and the feeling behind what they have to say. You may not always agree or be able to relate, and that's okay. But make an effort to open your mind and learn about your Cardigan brothers and sisters and about the world outside of Cardigan. We share this community and we share this world, and we can't exist if we can't exist together. So let's start this new year with a blank slate, ready to work hard, love each other, try new things, and help each other learn, fail, and succeed together. Thank you.
Thank you, Mrs. Gahagan. In a few moments, we're going to be singing the Cardigan Hymn. The Cardigan Hymn was written in 1962 by Mr. Robert C. Hopkins, one of our school's founding fathers. And it was set to music in 1975 by a man named Mr. Harold Finkbeiner, who was a longtime music director here At the Amazing Race today, we all learned about the words of the hymn and what kind of song it is. It's a song of thanks for this place. So when we sing it, let's sing it like we mean it.
Please remain standing for the final blessing. And thank you so much, Ms. Gehagen. That was awesome. Gracious and merciful God, we thank you for this beautiful place, our favored school. We thank you for each boy here who has chosen to make his home with us in this global community. Give them all wisdom, resilience, curiosity, and courage to negotiate the year ahead. Keep them ever mindful of their fellows, that they would aspire to be the loyal friend that they themselves would seek to have. We thank you for the dedicated faculty, administration, and staff who serve these boys and this school with selfless devotion. Bless them with patience, kindness, and humility as they steward these young men into their futures. And as we look with joyful anticipation at the year ahead, stir within us the desire and means to be all you created us to be. Amen.